I moved into the forest cabin to escape the madness of suburban life, not knowing a different kind of madness would soon follow me. After 20 years of city living, I finally cashed out, bought 10 acres of pristine mountain land, and built a self-sustaining cabin with my own hands. Off-grid solar power, gravity-fed water, and yes, a bioseptic system powered partially by energy rerouted from the solar grid to help with digestion and breakdown. Not many people know that with a few engineering tweaks, you can use solar-fed microprocessors to assist septic systems in cold climates. It was my own little invention. It worked brilliantly. But peace doesn't last long when HOA Karen finds her way into your life. It started when a subdivision began development about 2 miles downhill. Somehow, those developers had conned the county into approving a homeowners association even in this remote area. I wasn't part of it, didn't want to be, and made that clear. The roads to my land were private, and I had the documents to prove it. Then came Karen. Her name was Diane, but everyone called her HOA Karen. Because if there was a way to ruin your day with a clipboard, she'd find it. She came up my drive uninvited in her brand new white Tesla with a fluorescent HOA vest and a clipboard that looked like it came with a warrant. This entire hilltop is part of the future Phase 3 development, she said, without so much as a greeting. You'll need to apply for HOA inclusion or face community fees for services. I laughed. There are no services up here. I built my own septic, own solar, own everything. And I'm not joining your HOA. She didn't like that. She huffed and took pictures of my solar panels for documentation. I knew it wouldn't be the last time I saw her. A week later, I noticed something strange. The power readings for my solar grid were off. Like something was draining energy at night. My first thought was raccoons or maybe a faulty inverter. But my system was secure, or so I thought. Then I found the extension cord. It snaked through the brush, hidden beneath pine needles, and ran downhill. I followed it. It led straight to Karen's Tesla, parked near the trail access. She'd found a way to plug into my outdoor charging port, which I used only in emergencies for tools. That wasn't just theft, it was criminal trespassing. I unplugged it and left a note. This is private property. You are stealing electricity. Next time I call the sheriff. 2 days later, she plugged in again. Only this time, I didn't unplug it. I decided to let her have it, because I knew something she didn't. My solar system ran in conjunction with my septic processor. When someone pulled large amounts of electricity, it forced the processor to redirect functions, causing waste overflow into the drainage field. The system was built to handle my cabin's needs, but when overburdened, it reverted to an old bypass system that released waste into an open trench for emergency flow. I had a fail-safe alert in place. That night, I flipped the switch. The next morning, I watched from the trees as Karen's Tesla rolled out of the woods and back onto the road. Only something was wrong. She got out, opened her trunk, and immediately gagged. Her back tires were covered in brown sludge. I had redirected the septic overflow trench right next to the access path where she parked. And thanks to her illegally pulling power, the whole system had dumped excess waste, raw, unfiltered, right where she had parked her pristine vehicle. She had no idea the power she was stealing had directly caused the stench now caking her tires. It gets better. 2 days later, she came storming up my driveway, this time with another clipboard and a man in tow. "This is my husband," she barked, "and we're here to inform you that legal action will be taken for environmental damage. Your system caused runoff into the trail." I raised an eyebrow. "So, you admit you've been near my system?" She froze. Because to know that, I continued, "You'd have to be trespassing. And I've got a wildlife cam with night vision footage of someone plugging in a car to my solar grid 3 nights in a row. That's power theft." Her husband looked nervous. "You have video evidence?" he asked. "Oh, yes. And GPS logs. My solar battery logs dips in amperage every time a large load is added. I matched that with the video. Clear match. I've already sent copies to the sheriff." Karen paled. "You wouldn't." "I already did," I said. "Also, do you know how my system works?" Silence. "It's not just a solar grid. It's connected to a smart septic processor. The more power it sends to someone else's car, the less it uses for waste treatment. So when someone steals power, it causes backup. Karen blinked. You mean the smell was your fault? I nodded. Congratulations. You literally parked your car in a field of your own making. Her husband muttered something about talking to the board and turned back toward the trail. A week passed. I thought it was over. Then I got a letter in the mail, an official HOA fine for public sanitation violations. Karen had taken the matter to her board. I was furious, but also inspired. So I filed my own complaint with the county zoning office, health department, and the sheriff. I provided wildlife cam footage of Karen trespassing, GPS logs of power drain septic, overflow records, drone shots of the Tesla parked on my land, and a notarized letter stating that I had warned her once in writing within 2 weeks. Karen wasn't just fined, she was charged. The sheriff showed up to her home, ironically powered by solar panels subsidized by the HOA, and issued a misdemeanor trespass and theft citation. On top of that, the health department hit her with a fine for illegally interfering with a private sanitation system. Best part? Her Tesla had to be professionally cleaned, twice at her own expense. And the HOA? They had to retract their fine after the county deemed her at fault. I got one final letter from her, hand-delivered and sealed in a pink envelope. Inside was one line, I will never step foot near your property again. I framed it. Now, every time I see her drive by in her once pristine Tesla with mudguards installed and a faint whiff of bleach trailing behind her, I smile. Because some people learn with warnings. Others need a lesson written in septic sludge. And me? I just sit back on my cabin porch, drink my coffee, and enjoy the quiet, powered by the sun, protected by common sense, and watched over by a septic system with a sense of justice.